Laughing Monkey Music Show, too, and Kelly Nichols. How are you?
Hey man, how's it going, Scott? I'm good.
I'm glad we could do this. We've been almost like pen pals for a while there, and actually finally saw you at Mohegan.
Yeah, man, you should have
Last
come by and hung out after, man.
Dude, it was crowded. People were just hanging after you, man. You're a rock star. People were just it's too much. It's not my scene, you know.
They just want free drinks.
I know, I know. I did get some of your shirts. Great shirts. People, I want to actually tell people that right now. Go to the site. Actually, go to your do you have one Zazzle, right?
Yeah, I got them on Zazzle.
Yes, I will put the link up. Go to there. I've got two of them. They're good quality shirts.
Oh,
Um,
good. Thanks. Good to
yeah,
know.
they're really good. I got two of them. I couldn't decide what I wanted. It's like, oh, I just get two of them. And there's actually more on the site. I want to get. I bought them on the show that night though. It was a good show, man. It was a really good show.
Thanks. Yeah, man, it was a great place, right? What a cool, beautiful looking place, man. It was like at the bottom of a teepee. It was awesome.
It was. It was a good size. It's a good size crowd. And obviously you remember I recorded it too. So it's actually out there on
Right.
video. If people want to see it, if people want to see it. It's out there. Um, if you couldn't make it to the show because you guys obviously don't play everywhere a lot, so that's.
No, we don't do a lot of shows, that's for sure.
What are we looking at for shows this year? I know it's more of a laid back approach, but
Fuck, there's only like two shows so far. Well, M3,
right.
and and let me look at the other one here. It's called there's a show in Detroit. And oh, it's over fucking here. Hang on, there's a show in Detroit. And the show in Detroit is at, let me go to Riley's LA Guns, which has the update shit. Okay, so it's the place called Smuggler's Run in Wyandotte, Michigan. And that is May 5th. So that's like 2 days before M3. So that's a Michigan show. And that's it. And then we got M3, and then I don't know what else is happening.
It's pretty chill schedule there for the year.
It's too fucking chill, man.
I'm gonna say you really want to do a couple shows here and there.
We're supposed to like, we're supposed to hear about these things like sooner than later. So I don't know what's happening.
I bet you they're gonna
But
pile
when
in.
I do, I'll post it. I'll post it, and tell everybody. But like,
Well, you're good. Do you have it on your Instagram? And like I said, all these links will go underneath it. Your Instagram and on the Riley's Guns webpage, which also has
okay,
a link on there to the shirts. Also, if you go that way to get the shirts, many different
right.
ways to get the merch, um,
Appreciate it.
which is pretty cool. So you
Keep us off the
actually,
streets.
yeah, that's right. So actually, we'll talk about that from there. You do all the graphics. That's what you do now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
do,
well, I've been doing it for a while, but yeah, I've gotten to do all the band stuff. So I
which
got
is
the
good.
well, I got the album cover all turned in and everything for the vinyl and the CD, and there's a 7-inch single that we're doing too. So all that artwork has been turned in, and we're hoping for a May release on the album. So we'll have to see. There's a lot of different colored vinyls and stuff. So
Has it
takes
been a challenge getting over the vinyl? Because I know vinyl's been kind of hard for bands because everyone wants vinyls now.
yeah, vinyl takes time. It's not really so hard, but it just takes time because you have to get on like a waiting list and and the list is long. So, you know.
I
And
heard
I
it's like
think
8 months or something, or it used to be.
yeah, it's crazy. So
The Dark Horse, and the first single was Overdrive.
yeah, that came out, and then we just the second single Rewind is coming out
17th.
the 17th. Yeah, February
All right, I got
17th.
that one right.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one. And then
Yeah, that's a good one. And then we
hopefully
got
they're
one more after that. I'm anticipating your questions. We got one more after that, and then hopefully the album by then, by early by May. So yeah, one more single coming out, one more bundle. That's like three bundles altogether,
yep.
and then the 7-inch with a special song on it, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. And then we'll see what happens.
Any like lyric videos and stuff like that, special things planned.
I'm actually working on the video right now. I'm gonna do a video for the Dark Horse, but it's gonna be like the making of kind of like I did for Crawl.
That was cool.
because was just no time to do a video when we're like this, you know. It's gonna just been like I shoot a lot of stuff like all the time, always have. So
Mm.
I just kind of like throw together what I have and play the track to it and see if it comes out. Try to make something cool because we're all just so far apart. It's just like it's not gonna happen.
You are so actually. Are there extra tracks going to be like? Do you guys have extra, or do you do just the amount of songs for this album when you recorded for this album? Or are you gonna have like extra tracks, like
Well,
maybe
there's
for?
an extra track on the
Okay,
7-inch that we redid.
okay.
So that's kind of like cool little bonus. And then there's another track that we redid, but don't know how I feel about it. So we're just kind of waiting to see. But the album will have 10 songs, and then it comes with the 7-inch, which has two more songs.
Oh, very cool. All right, because and if you had extras going on for movies or just other things throughout the year, kind of fun things to put out there. It's
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what else is
well,
coming.
well, no, you're right because you guys do write. You guys have a tight thing. People don't realize you guys
Oh
are
yeah,
obviously four different places, and when you guys write separately, so when you guys do get together, it's like usually like a week or two that you guys are in one spot to record. So there's no, it's all trimming of the fat. There's no, it's all the meat. You
all
know,
the meat, man. No fat on this stuff at all. There's no time. There's no budget for it anymore for that. So yeah, it's really like grind and get it done. But it's a great process. But we'd like to do like a live record for the next one. So that's kind of where we're heading and seeing like if there's a show some point that we can record, get some gear out there and record it.
that would be
And then
awesome.
yeah, but then we still got a bunch of songs that we didn't even, put on these two records, and then we could write more and Steve's in Nashville now, so we could go down. I'd love to go down to record in Nashville.
It's a very popular place right now. All the LA transplants and rockers have moved to Nashville now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, a lot.
It's
I
it's
don't know.
it's a pretty busy place. Actually, so
Yeah,
one of the things I actually after we talked last time, I actually gone back. I know you hate the Sweet Pain reference, but I actually went back and I didn't even realize Shoot for Thrills was originally from there. A slower
yeah,
version. It's a pretty
yeah,
good version. It's a good song.
yeah. Thanks, man. It's funny. It was used in the Friday Night Lights movie.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, which I never saw it, but I know I got a royalty check from it. So it was like,
that doesn't suck.
that was cool. But that's an old song, and that's like the first song I brought into the band, like with LA Guns when we first started, just so we had something to jam with. That was like my first attempt at songwriting.
Well, I think it's good. I think the album itself felt very like had a very Hanoi Rocks to it. So this album kind of felt this that song kind of felt like it was Hanoi Rocks, even Sex Pistols kind of punky feel to it. That's what I think was made it kind of fun. The
Yeah, I
influence.
was. Yeah, I think the music was good. I mean, we were just all kind of like starting to learn how to play and stuff, so it wasn't like we were any virtuosos anywhere. But it was still like kind of cool. But we just had trouble finding a lead singer, and then the guy who sang Corky, Michael, he he was like the manager, and he ended up like singing, and it was just so crazy. But he had a good vibe and stuff for but yeah, Hanoi Rocks was a huge influence on us back then. We got in on Hanoi Rocks like right away. I saw that Oriental Beat record and just like
Yep.
picked that up, and I was like, wow, these guys look great and it's a cool look and everything. So yeah, and the music was killer too. So it was a good start of us. I would say the start of the glam.
No, but it was a good first song too, and actually holds over pretty well. And I was saying
Thanks.
that because I know Yoakum, I know that you guys always have a lot of songs. I know like with the four of you guys in the band, I'm sure there's no shortage of songs to begin with for these albums coming in. I mean, I know Steve's like pulling out songs from like bands. Was it Bees or the Bees or something? Like I know he's been pulling songs from 8,000 years back. Like all you guys have so many songs. You know,
Yeah.
I don't even.
Um, there's no shortage of songs. I mean, whether they're good or bad, that's that's neither here nor there. But I mean, we try to get the best ones that I feel like songwriting too is really as you try to get better as a songwriter. It's never really thought of it like that, just like what you do say is what you say. But I feel like, you can try to get better at it. But it's really cool when you come up with a song, though, man. It's a really good feeling. And then you hear it on, something, and it's like kind of cool, man.
Well,
That
your
you
songs are
got
different, are very
something
different
out there
though.
in the universe. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Well, your song. Sorry to step over you. Your songs are very different though. Also, it's not. It's almost like there's like a running melody through the verses too. It's not like just verse, big chorus. Like it's very hummable. It has like through it. You know what I mean? Which is not like all other songs out there. I feel like that's kind of a trait of the band and kind of your songwriting.
Yeah, I feel like with my songwriting, like you could sing different harmonies to it. Like if you could sing, you could sing different versions of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You'd really like like because I sing along with them, and I think I'm the worst singer. So but I just like can come up with different melodies along the original melody line, and it's kind of it's cool. But it's just cool to have it out there in the world that you wrote something that people hear, and it's just crazy. People you've never met in different countries, and it's just like some songs become part of a person's life or a time that they remember. So it's a really cool uh thing to be doing.
Does it ever
It's a
throw you
lot of
off at
work
this point?
though. It's hard for me to finish a song. I need a deadline. I need to know that there's like, we have to go into the studio by this date, and we have to turn them in. Like, we do you have to turn them in by a certain time if you want it on the record. So you just like, then you really like work and try to get all the parts and stuff. And uh but I need a deadline, man. I'm no good without a deadline.
Were you writing songs before this though? Like I mean, like was it like around? I don't know. I know before the band petered out, you didn't really record any albums, or were you writing songs in between? I mean, there's a big gap between there. I know you weren't doing a lot of music, but were you just kind of picking up your spin?
Not really, man. I even only jammed with a couple of people during that whole time. And I had some friends had a little cool barn out at the end of Long Island that we would go jam a few times, but I never really like had to, work I didn't want to write. I didn't feel like I needed to write because I didn't feel like I had an avenue really to get it heard or
Yeah.
recorded, or I'm not really good at all that Pro Tools and stuff. I use GarageBand, and I'll just lay down like one drum beat and the whole way
Hmm.
through, and just to keep my tempo and the vibe. And then then with Steve later we break it up and we add different parts to it and stuff like that. But I can't like put in drum loops and that kind of stuff, man. So I just like I'll just get a beat going and then I just start playing and see what happens.
It's crazy to think that you hadn't written any songs in that long, and then you just write these really killer
I mean,
songs.
I get ideas and I write lyrics and stuff, and I do get like I got bits and bits and bits and bits. I got
Right.
bits on top of bits,
All right. Well, that
but I
makes more sense. It's like someone saying, like, say, like, imagine your favorite movie, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, the guy didn't do a movie for 30 years. You mean you didn't do anything in between and then you come up with another blockbuster that's amazing? You're like, nothing? And then, so it makes sense that you're doing, you know what I'm saying? For the outside looking in,
yeah,
you're like, oh, okay, so there is something churning in that process for you because you didn't lose
yeah.
anything. It's still up there.
You can't really stop the creative process, or the ideas from coming because like how I see the world and stuff, and I try to like I don't I see the world as a painter. I forgot who said that, but like I try to look at everything and I take it all down, and I keep melodies in my head, and I love music so much I just sing along, or I'll just I'll hear a song and then I'll hear something another version of it. But yeah, you don't stop that. So but I don't do anything with it, so I just got like bits and bits and bits.
That's crazy. Well, you've also continued to be very interesting with your, obviously, you're an avid motorcycle rider.
Yes.
And so, I mean, if you try it, you're driving around, you're going all over the place, you're meeting people. Clearly, you're sucking in the world, so it's adding to your palate. And
Yes. If I could just get on a motorcycle and travel around the world, I would do it.
That would be probably
That's
quite the
the
thing
dream
there.
someday. Yeah. I love it.
The
It's just
fact
a great feeling.
the fact that you're such a motivated cycle person, even after your big accident way back in the day, does your leg hurt at this point? Do you get arthritis in it now? I gotta imagine.
No, it's actually pretty good. I mean, it was definitely a good hit, but I still got it, so I'm pretty happy with that. you know. But I didn't really
I,
blame the motorcycle for any part of my accident. It's like it was the guy who made a left turn in front of me. He was the guy he was the one to
yeah,
blame. I could have been in a car or I could have been on a
right.
bicycle or could have been walking or anything. It's just like, um, it didn't really you know, deflate my love of motorcycles at all.
Which
Like
is
I just got that bike. I had it for like 17 days. I had a GSXR 750, which was like the one of the first production cafe racing style motorcycles that these companies like Suzuki made it, but it was like just so cool looking and I was so happy. And then I got creamed, but and then I just wanted to go ride again. I think that's one of the things that even like kept me positive and in the hospital was trying to like, man, that was so much fun. I want to get out there and ride again as soon as possible.
That probably push you through being bummed out about losing one band at the same time. If you have something to
Yeah,
look forward
there was a
to.
lot going on that time, man. It was weird.
It worked out well for you. You are a thrills person, though. This time I didn't realize sharks. So I saw your video on your little YouTube thing.
Yeah, sharks.
Holy moly, what's going on with that dude? That's like one of my biggest fears.
Oh yeah, shark diving,
Oh
shark
yeah,
keep. Yeah, well, my friend has a boat, so I go out with him, and we take people shark diving in a cage out of Montauk here. So the Atlantic Ocean, and so there's you just see all kinds of stuff. It's great. It's just the best gig ever. You get on a boat and you just go like about 20 miles out to sea, and there's nothing around. And we put a cage in the water and we chum for sharks, and they come and so he deals with the boat and the sharks, and I deal with the people, getting them in and out of the cage, getting them with a breather, getting them comfortable with the breather, the weight belt, and you got to not panic once you get in that cage, and it's tricky,
oh,
man. Some people just can't take it, man. They panic, but I gotta like calm them down, and usually it's great. And once they get in, and you see what you get, blue sharks, and you've seen all kinds of stuff go by and stuff. And there's been great whites out there a lot. And
really?
yeah, actually, my the captain saw one this summer, so last summer, so I missed that one, but. They're rare, but they do come in and out of there. They breed up there. So let me just tell you this really funny quick story. We could take up to 6 people on the boat, but one time this guy and his girlfriend or his wife came or his whatever came on the boat. They reserved the whole boat just for themselves, right? So we take them out about 20 miles to sea, and it's like, you just been like zooming and humming on the water and bouncing. And then when you stop and he turns off the engine, the guy goes, "Is this where you kill us now and throw us in the ocean?" We're like, I was like, dude, you're lucky we're not killers, man. Yeah, this
Chum,
is a good spot for it. But
man.
it was fun.
I was watching the video. It's like that is insane because first off, the clip, the little thing put together is you got some great footage, man. So were you actually in the water
I've been
yourself?
in the cage. Yeah, yeah. I've been in the water a
But it
few
looks like some of the
times.
shots are not in the cage. It looks like it's actually outside the cage.
Yeah, because I'm on the boat.
So you're kind of like
So I
sticking
just
your
like
head in.
I just stick my half my body in the water and try to like make sure I don't get eaten by a shark,
Well,
because
I'm
you
trying to
never
figure it
know
out.
you
Yeah.
never know what's coming. I mean, you could so these things like pop out of the blue, and all of a sudden you're like, it's a whale over there, and these are just like a turtle or a man o' war, like a Portuguese man o' war. You're like, what is that? And they look like they were like a piece of plastic garbage, and you're like, what is that thing? And it's like, it was great, man. It's great.
It's
Get out.
crazy. I mean, and the one part of the footage, someone else got lost their foot or something, their foot bitten. It's so crazy. And I was like, how's he shooting his footage? Because it looks like you're in the water shooting people while they're in the cage. I'm like, well, how are you not in the cage shooting this? Because the
Yeah,
angle
no,
looks really good. It's an illusion.
yeah, no, but we are out of the cage sometimes shooting, especially the captain. One time we thought we saw a great white, and he was at the back of the boat. He was at the back of the boat, and it's like this huge fin. And he goes, I think that's a great white. And he just runs into the cabin of the boat, grabs his like camera, runs back to the back of the boat, and dives right in. And we're all just like, wait, that's the captain just dove in after he said that's a great white. We're like, are you crazy?
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, and then I'm
I
like,
mean, like, I need to learn how to drive this boat if you're gonna be diving off the boat like that.
well, everybody's looking at me like, and I just like, I could barely drive the boat, but I could get us home. But it was like,
These things could
like
happen. I mean,
they're left with me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm smoking around. Hey, that's cool, man.
that is so
Funny.
funny. It's great to see that though. I mean, because obviously it fits in. You're very much into the motif of skulls and pirates and stuff. So sharks
I like
totally
anything
fit in
cool.
with that.
I like anything cool, man. Keep it
That's really
simple.
funny. It's
Yeah,
really funny though. That's like really like one of my biggest fears of sharks. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, like I
yeah,
can just imagine some things. I know you mentioned you're like no hooks, so I saw you guys chumming it with like ropes and no hooks.
yeah.
And
No
I saw
hooks. No,
some of the sharks
we
had
have
them.
we tie a piece of rope through like some bait fish and stuff like that, but we don't catch. We don't, so it's a cool part because in the morning I have to be on the boat at like 6 in the morning and then get it ready and get the bait and everything, clean it and everything, and then for the people to come. And then you see like all the other guys who are getting on boats and they've got like spear guns and fucking bazookas and shit. They're just going out there to destroy everything,
Everything.
man. It's like, and it's sad when you look at it from my perspective, where we're no hooks, we're just watching them, admiring the beauty of these
Right.
creatures. But and these other guys are just walking by with like 10 rifles in each hand, and they got like they're just it's a massacre. It's such a shame,
It's
but
sad. And the hooks on them are
yeah,
sad too. They were swimming by with hooks in their mouths. It's sad to see that.
yeah, hooks supposedly dissolve after a while, so that's the
Really.
one good thing. Yeah,
I guess. All right. I never heard that before. It's kind of crazy.
it may take a while, but they will dissolve in that salt water after a while from their mouths. That's what I've heard from the sources on the
I guess
dive.
everything, right? Everything breaks down, even styrofoam if you have enough time, right? Milk a million
Yeah,
years, everything will
couple
break down.
yeah, a couple million years it'll be all
Years,
good.
it'll be fine. Just, yeah, don't be such a baby about it. One of
Yeah.
the things I was going to say, I was looking back at your catalog with all this, you have a huge catalog of you've been on with the band. Through the years, the band's done a lot of re-recording of songs. I know bands do that to get their money back, to get more money back from the albums than they do from the labels. It's a good recoup thing. Did you play on some of the re-recordings? How what during the process of all those?
No.
No, not a single one.
No, I don't think so, man. No. I haven't recorded anything since, whatever, Renegade's the first thing, but well, I did record that one song with Stacy Blaze when he was in the band,
Mm-hmm.
and Phil and Steve. Um I played on one song, but that was it, man. No, I didn't do anything else.
There's a video out there of that night you had played. I think it's like the day before or the day after, and you and Steve, you can see the excitement of you guys connecting,
Yeah.
like two kids jamming. Like the energy is very visible.
Yeah, man. It's me and Steve play along really well together. I think it's really easy. It's just so solid that it's just so solid. You never have to worry about it, and it's easy. We always have good eye communication and stuff, and we got along great off tour and on tour, and so this is a fun project to be with him. Because this is the guy who played the drums with the most. And we smoked a joint before every show back then. Every show we could, him and I would just kind of walk off to the side and smoke a tube. Nobody else smoked in the
Yeah,
band at the time, and we would always so we were always in the groove
in the jam,
together. That was our little thing, man.
which is funny because I mean, but he's always been a serious business guy. And he's the most laid back guy, so I can see how you two would really have no issues because you guys are very similar in a way. You know,
Well, it's good because I let him like take care of what he takes care of. And then,
right?
I bring in and do the art. I do the art and the social and the web and all that stuff. So that takes that off of his plate, so he can concentrate on, the business side of the band and deals more with the managers and stuff than the rest of us. So it's good, we can kind of like split the duties and make sure that it's done. I mean, being able to do the artwork for the band is great because I can post it when I want to. I can, I have total control over it.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting for somebody to hand in a piece of art and it's like, oh my God, or I got to change something, or this date's been postponed. It's great. So I just bust it
Update
out
it.
all the time. Yeah.
Well, it's good creative control for you too. It's a good teamwork thing. I think, and the fact that he's done it so long, it's been such a skill set that he has to be
Yeah.
the manager. I think that was super overlooked over the years with the original band. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know,
it's a lot. It's a big responsibility too, man.
it's a headache.
I don't want to say anything, but yeah, he didn't get much help back then. Like,
No,
everybody just put it on his shoulders, and it's like, it's a lot to deal with. Going through the riders and the what do you got when you're setting up the shows? You have to check everything that's going to be there that we need, and the gear and the rooms and the travel. It's like, so I wouldn't
well,
do it.
yeah, he was a very big facility that, and actually, I talked to Mike C. Let's see,
Oh,
my
Mike
name.
C.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's Corky. Yeah, that's the guy
yeah.
who
Oh,
sang
right.
for Sweet
Okay.
Pain.
Oh, is it okay? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy
Okay.
who sang.
See, I didn't catch it. Oh, I didn't put it together. Yeah, he was on, and we were talking, and I've actually posted clips of
Oh,
of it because a lot of it's been supporting. Like it's funny things that you did. Like it was one of the clips because he had talked about Ballad Jane, how Tracy's like, I'm gonna quit the band, which was a pretty fantastic point because everybody plays it now because it was the biggest thing, which is a fun point. So I had to put the clip out there because it's a fun
see,
point that
that's
people should
cool
be aware
because
of.
there's things that you don't remember. So it's cool to hear from somebody else that has who was there, who can kind of throw in another perspective because I don't remember everything. But yeah, can you imagine? I'm gonna quit the band.
It's insane. Yeah,
Oh my
he's been
God.
documenting a lot of your stuff. He's got a lot of stuff up there, so we can remember as he remembers it because he doesn't want to forget it. It's out there, like on podcasts and YouTube.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because he was around for I got him the gig and stuff, and then we were friends before I got into LA Guns and stuff. So when we did, and I got him, I knew he would be good at it, but he just like lost his mind. I think we drove him crazy though. It was a lot. It was a handful.
I couldn't
It was,
imagine you guys were out of control.
when we were that young, and we were just touring like 11 months out of the year. It was just we were just crazy. It was crazy. And then he just like, I think the top of his head literally fucking
Exploded.
floated away.
I didn't think no money,
Yeah.
just all kinds of problems. Like he was talking about the stress he went through. Like he must have lived a million years. Like
Yeah.
in that age,
Yeah.
it was just. But hearing behind the scenes, because it did say how I could have sworn. I think it was like there was how we talked about Steve and Tracy. I think it was Tracy how they had a bump in the beginning of in the very beginning. It talks about the dynamic of how one was one way, one was the other way, and it's nice to see that out there. I'm not trying to stir the pot, but it's nice to see other opinions out there
Yeah.
because you guys don't have to say anything, so other people can share the other narrative. So it's a full
Yeah.
picture of the dynamics without you guys having to say anything. It just shows that it's just more to the picture than you'd imagine.
Oh yeah. There's a lot more to the picture. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
And it's just
it's
fair. People can't just assume one thing. It's this band or this. I get original member of the band. I'm like, Phil was the original member of the band. I mean, like the lineage is how many people have been in that band at this point? You
well,
know,
we count it as the original band for when we got the record deal,
I agree with you,
so
but I'm saying the point was they're saying Steve wasn't part of the original band because they're harassing because he's not in now, and I'm like, people are just like nitpicking. I mean, he's been in the band I think longer than anybody actually, if you look at it through all
well,
the albums at this point.
yeah, actually doing it for sure, man,
Yeah,
because he's never but nobody really asked like, what happened to the original drummer? Like, why did we get Steve? Like, no one ever asked that. Like, and that's kind of weird. We were lucky to get Steve. We were just getting the record deal, and the old drummer left, and I'm not gonna say why or anything, but he left, and it was abrupt, and so we had to find somebody like, and then we hear Steve, we hear drums in the next studio at SIR and excuse me, Los Angeles, and we hear we hear like some killer drums. So we like popped our head in, and then it's Steve Riley playing with a couple of cats. And then when they took a break, Tracy went over there and talked to him and see if he would be interested in like jamming with us and seeing how it went. And we were like, holy shit, he was in Wasp already, which we already dug, and
Right.
so and he was just a monster. So we were like lucky to have him. And but so what? I mean, he missed the first record, but
He's an original member as far as I'm concerned. I know the internet will be upset about
yeah, I
somebody saying that
mean,
out loud. It's you guys, it's you for the album, and him to me is the original. And the other guy can be too, but I'm saying the band I know, you know, the band I saw was you guys. That was my original
yeah,
band, for those songs.
yeah,
That's how I see it. It's just funny that people have a complaint. It's just, guys, there's like two different bands. It's like different versions of Yes, just different versions of Deep Purple. You don't have to like every version. You don't have to get ugly about it. You just don't have to listen to that album. It's not a big deal, you
it
know?
is. It's no big deal, man. I mean, I think that hey, I mean, how much more music is there really going to be? So
Right.
kind of like, if you're into that kind of stuff, I think it's great. That
I do
we're
too.
still putting out music. Let's see if Sam Smith is putting out music in 40 years.
Yeah, true. Very true. And then that's the whole thing. I think people just need to realize, and that's more of a comment to the people that, watch these things and kind of get all over the bands. And you just don't have to listen to them. Everybody's
Yeah,
having fun and enjoying themselves. And that's all it is. Just enjoy yourselves. It's all good.
yeah, for sure, man. We're still here, so it's like I don't know what else do we do.
What else you gonna do?
Shark
Well,
diving,
yeah, you're shark diving. You're riding motorcycles. You're kind of keeping busy there. And now, the band's back together. Um, I don't know. I
overdrive.
think yeah, Overdrive, and the Dark Horse is coming out. Rewind February 17th. I think the music's great. That's obviously why I'll keep
Thanks.
supporting you guys. I can't say enough
Yeah,
about this.
appreciate it, man.
These albums, all these. I love a good full album, and so far, the first album was full. The two new singles are full.
Yeah, there's more. There's all kinds of cool stuff coming out now after this one too. So we're looking forward to getting it out too, man. And we'll see what happens after that.
All right, man. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate
All
it.
right, Sean.
Very cool.
Thank you, man.
Thank
Let's
you.
stay in touch,
Thank
buddy.
you.
All right.
We will. We will.
All right.
Bye.
Cheers, everybody.